Okay.
Don't fucking
sound shame you.
Yeah, listen. I see what you're doing. This ASMR. Stop. You're stroking it. I don't like it. You're putting the AS on ASMR. Yeah. The assumed summation of what I don't want to hear.
All right.
This is what I want to hear every time.
Oh, that's a turn on right there.
That's it. That's it.
In my old Kentucky home.
Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of Kentucky Commons Radio Hour. I am Michael Moeller in Louisville, Kentucky at Homebrew Brewers.
Thanks. You screwed it up last week, so Michael gets one.
Dude, normally I hate when you interrupt, but just the thanks. That was like, this is perfect.
Joined by one John Ronayne.
Hello.
And David Satterley.
Meow.
And tonight's special guest from Saltwater Woody, Paul Heintzman.
What's up, guys? Hey.
Thanks for joining us. If you want to see the beverage that we have on the table right now, I hope you're watching on YouTube, youtube.com/@LouisvilleAleTrail. Go ahead, subscribe, rate, listen, share, comment, do all those things. It really helps the algorithms, supposedly. I don't know. But I do like seeing the subscriber count go up. So please hit that subscribe button on anything that you're watching or listening to us on.
I'm wearing a tank top.
You're wearing a tank top.
Look at you go. Look at you.
You
The sun's out,
I'm
guns
on
out.
board with it.
I'm trying to get people to watch the video.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean this is the appeal. That's it right there. Paul, we're gonna learn all about Saltwater Woody and everything that you brought for us tonight. But John, tell us a little bit about this beer that we have to start off the show.
Yeah, so this is a fun one. We've got a lot of things we're going to drink through, but we thought we would start the show tonight with something that is just fresh in the Louisville market. It's not the first time it's been here, but it's watermelon, chicken, and grits. And if you guys think that sounds familiar, it is because it probably is. A few years ago, the Atlantucky guys, some of the members of Nappy Roots opened a brewery, kind of split their time between Atlanta and Kentucky, hence the name of their brewery. They make some awesome stuff, and one of their first releases in this market they did as a collaboration with Against the Grain, watermelon, chicken, and grits, golden ale with watermelon. I'll just read you the description because I think it's awesome. It's aw nah, hell nah. They have gone up and done it. It doesn't say that, but you guys know the song. We're nappy to present one of the most country fried ideas we've had yet. When Ron Clutch, Skinny DeVille, Buffalo Style, and fish scales, came with plans for a brew so good you could drink it for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, we had no choice but to make them Atlantucky Brewing boys proud. So whether you're balling on a budget or not, you'll be in total nappiness chugging watermelon, chicken, and grits. And then they got all their signatures down there. So they did this one. It's really fun. They did like that little video where they were like grilling and the garage door opened and then you were in the ATG production facility, if you guys remember that one. But mostly we just want to shout out our friends. They're going to be bringing this one back into the Louisville market. So keep your eyes peeled.
Maybe they'll have a tap room someday.
Maybe.
Or until then, we can hope for more distribution. They're fun guys. We like Ron. We see him around.
Yep.
Yeah. The one in Atlanta is Atlantucky.
Yep.
The one in Kentucky is going to be
Tucklanta.
Kentucky.
Yeah.
I have high hopes.
Yeah, it's going to be a good day.
Here you are, gentlemen.
Perfect.
A little bit of watermelon golden ale.
Thank you.
And cheers, Atlantucky.
Cheers, guys.
Nice big watermelon nose. Holy
It's a
cow.
lot of
It's a
watermelon.
lot of watermelon.
Sure.
Yeah, cheers. Way to make it weird, David. Thank you.
You said cheers and we didn't cheers, so it felt like we needed to cheers. If you say cheers, you got cheers.
Very watermelon flavor,
It's a
too.
burst of watermelon.
Yep. It's very, very bright. It's very, very juicy and fruity. Watermelon's one of those flavors that's kind of like hard to incorporate subtly. So I think if you're going to go this way. It's really big and bright. It's very refreshing. I really actually do get the chicken and the grits flavor coming out as well. No, I actually think that was just like I don't think there's any chicken or grits in here.
It'd be great if there was.
Yeah, actually, I wouldn't be that mad at that. Yeah, chicken and like some biscuit malt maybe or something. But yeah, look for this one anywhere, probably Against the Grain. And I think you can find it on Atlantucky's website as well. Find places near you.
Very nice.
This rides a line of like, like a golden ale with some fruit in it, but it's not like it's not sweet.
Mm-mm.
It's just like a dry kind of golden ale, a little bit of accentuation, if you will.
Refreshing.
I like it.
I don't know how to taste things like you guys, apparently. I just think it's good.
No, none of us do.
Yeah, we just kind of make it up as we
Fake
go.
it.
I just say it's good.
Perfect. It is good. It is good.
Yeah, sometimes I say it's fine, but I'll usually say it's good. So Paul, you are a CPO at Saltwater Woody.
Hey,
I don't know
He
what
asked me
that.
what your title was, and I wouldn't tell him.
I don't know what that
Yo.
means. So what does the CPO do?
Chief Party Officer. So I came from Stockyards Bank, local bank, and everyone at the bank is vice president, senior vice president, assistant vice president, CEO, president, all these terms. And I was like, I don't want to be any of that because it all sucks. Not that it sucks, but it sucks. And I was like, I want to be something totally different. And I looked because like a lot of people in startups do like chief people officer or chief whatever officer. And yes, I am being lame, like making my own chief whatever officer, but chief party officer wasn't taken. And chief party officer is the one where like people might like roll their eyes when I see it, and I roll my own eyes, but it's like it's one of the ones where I can like do the shaka with my hands and be like, oh, okay, this guy is not the worst person in the entire world, but he is lame. And I'm like, yeah, that fits.
But he likes to party.
I do.
You're not from the C-suite. You're from the C-suite.
Hey, whoa! Oh.
New business card.
Wow.
You like that?
Can we,
Yeah, I do
can we
like
stop
that.
this? I need to write that down everywhere. I need to
We'll
go
put it
put
in
that in
the
my
show
LinkedIn tab.
We are recording.
Side note, speaking of which, I do have to remind you. Oh, I'll save it for when we start drinking. But yes, Chief Party Officer is the title that I've given myself.
I love it. We've given David the title of VP of Fun.
Oh,
What?
Yep. Congratulations.
deserve that.
Today is your raise, your promotion. You are not fired like we usually joke. We actually are promoting you. I mean, you're wearing a tank top.
congratulations.
Ah, man.
I was trying to make up a funny play on words where the VP stands for like very persistently against fun or something, but you can be the VP of fun.
This guy has management material written all over him.
Yeah, I agree. I agree.
Yeah, when you said CPO and like I have corporate trauma, and you're like, I'm like, God, he's in HR. he's here to fire me. I get fired like every month.
Corporate
So-
trauma. Love
yeah.
that term too.
So that's
Get a lot of
happening.
good terms. Keep them coming. Keep
Oh,
'em
yeah,
coming.
absolutely.
So you're talking to 3 Saltwater Woody fans here, but for the
MVPs.
listeners who maybe are not familiar with it, we
3.
can kind of start where this
Sure.
story, wherever you want.
100%.
But I do remember that there was at one point, whether or not it entered your like official marketing like parlance or whatever, the legend of Saltwater Woody.
Oh boy.
Do you remember telling me about this
Yes.
at one point?
So this is going way back in the original marketing of Saltwater Woody, because Saltwater Woody actually was started because myself and 2 guys, my 2 co-founders, we were actually boating off the coast of South Carolina. We went down to South Carolina once in a while.
And this is when you guys all had like jobs.
Yeah,
like,
this is when we had jobs. So we were boating off coast South Carolina, and we had actually found our death founder and found something weird at the bottom. So I was like, it wasn't that deep. The water was crystal clear. So I jump in, and there was actually a barrel at the bottom of the ocean. Turns out in the 1600s, when literally rum
Classic.
pirates
Yeah.
were literally shipping and running away from paying taxes,
Pirating.
there were pirating. There were barrels of rum that could fall out, and because they're airtight, they would either sink or float. But 9 times out of 10, they would actually sink.
It's a buoyancy thing, I
Buoyancy
think.
thing, yeah. So we actually found one of those barrels. We found out it was rum because we actually had opened it. It took us a little bit of time to open it. We tasted the rum, and the rum had been just mixed with the salt water so perfectly. And that's where Saltwater Woody was born. And guys, I'm totally fucking with you. That's a totally bullshit story. But the reason we had that story existed originally is because when we started Saltwater Woody, we were like, everyone who starts an alcohol brand, especially in the spirits category, is like, oh, I got this recipe from my
Right.
great grandfather.
Yeah.
Or like, oh, this bourbon is made from limestone water with this, and oh, it's the perfect 5 flavors of like, okay, shut the hell up, dude. It's bourbon, dog. Like, you're just making this marketing story, this
I'm right there
whatever.
with you.
And like we wanted to like poke shit at it and say that, hey, this is all bullshit. And it's still on our website. It's all bullshit. We make up a funny story, but that's exactly what it was. The real story is much less cool. We just had the idea to make basically what it is the only real fruit juice flavored American rum that's cut to proof with salt water.
I was gonna say, had that been the real story,
It'd have been tight.
you would have been a lot bigger by now.
Should have just ran with it. No one would have fact checked us. It's
No.
like, no one was there that
No.
day. We could
You
have fact
lost
checked
me
it.
at you going to the bottom of the ocean to get a barrel.
Nah.
And
They
then,
actually
how
hired
you-
the
it's like
the
really
guys who had
heavy.
that Titanic sub. That was their first
Oh.
mission, but it went much better.
Alrighty.
Yeah, too soon.
That was
Okay.
good though.
So what is maybe not the real, but like what is Saltwater Woody?
Yeah. So basically, the original kind of what actually happened was I got connected with these 2 guys, those same 2 co-founders I was talking about. And this is back when I was working in the bank. And I knew I wanted to do something in the startup world. They knew they wanted to do something in the startup world. And because we were in Kentucky, there's so many craft bourbon, so many craft beer, so much craft happening in Kentucky right now. And we knew we wanted to do a spirit as well. But bourbon was so crowded, beer was so crowded. Vodka, gin, all these spirits have so many craft, crowds. Rum was the only one that had, for lack of a better word, wasn't being Sorry, excuse me. So we were like, let's hit rum. And we want to do something totally drastic, totally different, because we identified that rum was honestly the first spirit distilled in America, helped build this country. It was the reason we went to war with the British, and I will fight all of you guys if you say no. The Boston Tea Party happened over rum. They should have called it the Boston Rum Party. But long story short, rum just has such a rich American history, and it died over the last 200 years, and we kind of want to bring it back. But everyone who brings back rum today does it with the same exact package. They do it with either pirates, or they do it with dark, or they do it with aged. And honestly, for the average American consumer, it doesn't, not to sound rude, but to a lot of people make rum, it doesn't actually taste good to the average consumer. Like, I can enjoy a good aged Jamaican, Caribbean blend rum, whatever. But the average consumer isn't going to enjoy it. We want to create something that the average consumer will enjoy that can actually bring back American craft rum dominance. And that's why Saltwater Woody is one. That's why we use real fruit juice. We think people like real today. That's why we used, an American rum, which not most rum isn't Americans. In the Caribbean, there's Japanese, there's French, there's all over the place. But then the thing we did that's most wacky is we cut to proof with salt water. It originally started as a marketing joke. It started from that story.
I love it.
And it's a total game changer, because salt, you can literally hold a bottle to your ear and hear the ocean is the marketing side of it, right? But in reality, exactly. It's like, whoa, here I am.
Challenge accepted.
South Carolina, here I come. But in reality, salt is a flavor enhancement tool. Salt brings down bitterness, enhances sweet flavors.
I've seen Eat, Pray, Love. Wait, is that thing? Yeah,
that sounds about right. But it is truly a flavor enhancement tool that truly brings out the juice. Again, why do people put salt in their grapefruit? Same exact reason. We have a grapefruit flavor as well. We have the grilled pineapple here, but the same exact reason. So we put it directly in our spirit, which completely changes not only the mouthfeel, but also the taste, smell, everything about it. It just changes the game.
I think that you guys, it's fun to bring innovation to it too, because you and I've known each other for a little while. And
Long time, 30 years, as we said.
Yeah. And even when you were in the banking world, like, you worked a lot with small businesses and stuff like that. So, but I remember the first time you told me, about what you guys were doing, it's like, well, I think you originally started by telling me the original story. And I was like, let's go. But, then you were telling me too, just about what you'd said about how you were like, hey, name 5 like bourbons. And it's, it's easy to do. It's like Buffalo Trace, Eagle, and it's like, name 5 like gins. And it's like, Bombay, blah, blah, blah. You can do that easily. It's like, name 5 tequilas. It's like, no problem. And you're like, name 5 rums. It's like
Bacardi,
Captain Morgan, Bacardi.
And Captain Morgan and Bacardi pretty much own the rum world.
Yeah.
That's pretty much all it is.
And there's so much room for innovation
Huge.
there. Because as you said, like, a lot of it is kind of the same thing. And I don't even necessarily associate your all's product with the stuff that I've had before.
Sure.
It's
Which was the goal. Which was the goal.
Good.
A lot of
Yeah.
rum's not very good.
It's not very good.
Because they try too hard to be like, again, rum right now, the biggest growth in rum right now is in the aged rum, because rum is trying so hard to be bourbon, which I think is honestly not the right way to go. Because not that there's anything wrong with bourbon, but at the end of the day, people drink what they want to enjoy. And again, you can make a great cocktail out of bourbon, but bourbon does not appeal to the masses. And rum could appeal to the masses. Rum was actually a poor man's drink in the 1700s. George Washington paid his troops with rum. People would drink, the average American male would drink like 2 liters a week. Like, it was amazing how much rum they were drinking. But now they're trying to make it something that I think it's not, and aging it and making it dark. And also the Global Rum Ministry, shout out to their Facebook group, are the most pretentious assholes in the entire world, because I think if your rum isn't
gonna join that group tomorrow.
Oh, it sucks.
We're gonna be
Those guys suck.
We live for that shit.
So they hate Saltwater Woody.
They hate it.
So
No,
we
no
are
joke.
posting this podcast to that.
Yeah,
Please.
100%.
No joke. They are, so one of the people on that page, so the cola is like the label approval for our spirit, the spirits world.
Joining right now.
So someone had seen that our lemon, when we applied for our lemon rum to be out, someone found the label, one of the administrators, and they posted it to the group. This is a global group. So our Saltwater Woody lemon was posted to this global group. I was literally ecstatic. I was like, oh my gosh, they just shouted out Saltwater Woody. All the comments were the vomit emoji.
Oh my god!
Because everyone was like, "Oh, that sucks!" Like putting flavor of rum, whatever.
Is it the Ministry of Rum?
Yeah, Ministry of Rum. They're all assholes. But the wacky thing is, we had won in 2020 when we first launched. Our grapefruit won the Rum of the Year at the Bartender Spirit Awards, which was like out of this world. I mean, there were Japanese, like I said, there were Japanese rums. There were rums from all over the world, and we fucking won. And we didn't. Apparently, there's ways you can, like, I don't know if Bartender Spirit Awards allows you to pay them, but some of these awards, if you see them, some of them are putting some money underneath the table, and they're
You got
getting
some
these
good
good
backing.
awards.
It sounds like
We didn't use any, but no, we didn't have any money
All
when we
the world,
first started.
baby.
But we didn't have any money first, so we didn't pay anyone, and we won, which is nuts. 95 out of 100. And I was like, I did personally comment on every single vomiting emoji and all the mean words. And I was like, guys, this is my business. Like, like, this is really, I think it's like it's funny and inappropriate. I was like, we just won the bartender's Spirit Awards. I'm sorry, this doesn't appeal to your taste. You don't need to be an asshole about it. Like,
Yeah.
you can say, I don't appreciate it. I was so pissed. But fuck them.
So what do they hate about it the most, do you think? Is it the salt water? Or
Sugar,
it's the fruit?
sugar, fruit,
Okay.
anything that's not rum. Anything that's not rum and water, I guess, essentially.
It's funny because that's what I fucking love about your all's brand.
Thank you.
So I remember when you told me about it the first time, I was like, salt water, like what that? Why? Like it just, it's going to be like salty. It's going to like be weird. And then I tasted it, and it just adds a whole different level of complexity.
Yep.
So where'd that idea come from? Did you
Honestly, it was all, well, and actually, so part of it too was the joke of like, hey, why do people drink rum when they're on vacation? Why don't they drink it when they're at home? Like everyone drinks a pina colada when they're on vacation. Everyone drinks a Mai Tai when they're on vacation, but they don't drink it at home, right? They only drink it in summer or whatever. So we kind of wanted to bring the ocean. This is gonna sound. We wanted to bring the ocean to the Midwest, and the way we did it was transporting salt water to your liquor cabinet, and that's where I started. And it was all a joke, and it wasn't until we actually started talking to flavor scientists who helped us develop the actual blend of Saltwater Woody that said, like, you're using, if you want to actually use salt in it, we can actually, it's going to change the flavor. And we're like,
Yeah.
Of course we knew that. It's like, but it did not start as a flavor enhancement tool. That was a secondary thing, but that's what changed it.
It
most.
really works.
Nuts. It's
if people have never tried it, like you can find your stuff. You can find it at pretty much all the
pretty
places
much
around
everywhere.
town now, right?
Saltwaterwoody.com.
Yeah.
Find a Woody.
I just like I'll have my rum outside and I'll be on my patio and I'll sit in there reading a book, probably 1984 by George Orwell, and this plane will fly over and it just releases all these gases, and then I sit there and I get another couple pages in. It's like, wow, this drink tastes different. And I'm like, it must be the salt water they're putting in the air.
That's exactly it.
Yeah, bringing the ocean to you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you. I'm glad you engineered that.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
What is your distribution like?
Oh boy. So when we first launched, we were only in one state, namely Kentucky, actually born on the 4th of July, 2020. It was the first day.
brother.
We were literally, it didn't have,
Yeah, absolutely.
4th of July, 2020 was a Monday. And it just so happened RNDC shipped us into liquor stores the week prior. So Monday was when they restocked, and basically 4th of July, Monday, 2020 was when we launched. Originally we tried launching March 2020, but there was this virus that went around.
Oh, yeah.
Does something. But now here we are later. We're now in 15 states.
Wow.
Some crazy ones like California, Texas, and Florida. But literally, honestly, some of our best states, you wouldn't believe, some actually best cities: Wichita, Kansas; Chattanooga, Tennessee; Atlanta, Georgia. We have some crazy cities that are really successful for us, that are just tons of fun. Again, I travel nonstop. I manage all the sales across the country, and I love it because obviously we're all kind of alcohol industry. When you travel to a city, you can learn it however you want it to, but I think you learn it in like the food scene and the drinking scene, because that's where you talk to the bartenders who live there, who experience there, who talk to other bartenders in the service industry. And I travel to all these places. Now people say like, "Oh, I'm from here." Like, "Oh, you know this bar? Oh, you know this bar? Oh, you know the guy who works behind the bar there?" I love it.
Well, you kind of, it's 2020. We were all going through COVID. We were all downloading TikTok, and you started kind of blowing up on TikTok because you kind of did.
Yeah.
And you were doing this series on TikTok of just like, this is the best like dive bar, or these are my favorite bars in this state. And yeah, you just proved it. Like just by traveling and going to all these places, you kind of learned a lot about the market.
That's how we got the CPO, the P.
Yeah, cheap party house, baby.
Partying a lot.
Well, and the TikTok started too because I could not think of a way, because I was in Kentucky and our Kentucky sales were great. We all of a sudden launched in Indiana. I was like, I've really never spent much time in Indiana. I don't know how to sell in Indiana. I don't know how to get consumers to sell in Indiana. So I thought about every single way to get someone to see my content in Indiana. And that's why I'm like, what if I focus on the crazy laws in Indiana? And I was like, how do I type out Saltwater with crazy liquor laws? And all of a sudden I started doing crazy liquor laws of every state. And like, I call it unselfish content. Like it was content putting out that people, it's not pro Saltwater Woody. I'll make my Saltwater shirt in it. But like people see it, they might become a follower of me. And then every once in a while I make pro Saltwater Woody content. Doesn't do as well, but they still get to see that. And I use the hashtag Indiana, hashtag Indianapolis. I make sure to use the hashtag targeting. So it was all, it all worked just to get me a lot of followers, but it all worked to make sure that I was getting laser targeted TikToks in those areas. And it's
popular to meme on Gary V, but you guys should go back and read some of those old books.
Yes.
Maybe
Oh,
jab,
I think
right
it was
hook.
you who turned me on to Gary V originally too.
Maybe.
I think it was. I'm pretty sure it was.
I was going to ask you guys too about a bit about the COVID thing, because you guys did open up right about the beginning, and we don't have to talk about we don't have to relive those memories, but I just wanted to shout out you guys, because what you all did with your first experimental batches was turn it into hand sanitizer and give it to small businesses.
Which you have in your bathroom. I saw that alongside
I don't
Everclear.
even think it's your product anymore. I think I just keep refilling it. But that was super cool. I remember you just came by and you're like, you just gave bottles to all the people, and everybody needed it back then because there were shortages and stuff. So just wanted to shout out you guys for doing that, because that was super cool.
Well, no, COVID fucked us so hard because March. So I got triple fucked. So March 21st, 2020 was my original wedding date.
Yeah, that's right.
And canceled the wedding, or had to call all my guests the Monday before. Had to call them because it was too early or too late where I couldn't send them a mail, and called them and said, hey, don't come to my wedding. So my wedding was literally myself. My parents were on FaceTime. We FaceTimed them, and my photographer and a priest. No one else.
What about your wife?
No, she was there.
Okay.
But yeah, so, and literally we drove 3 hours home from Columbus to Louisville, and our honeymoon was just basically staying home and quarantining. But the other thing is we were supposed to have a honeymoon that was a month long in Thailand, New Zealand, and Australia. Canceled that, obviously, because we weren't traveling. And then Saltwater Woody was supposed to produce March 24th, 2020. And basically all three of them got fucked. And I call it Black Monday because basically it was the Monday when I called all my guests, told them not to come. Honeymoon got canceled. And I was like, I hope I get my money back on that. And then at the very end of the day, because Ohio, all the states were announcing differently. So Ohio in the morning announced we were shutting down weddings, no longer allowed. And then at the very end of the day, Bashir, I think it was Bashir at the time. It
was Bashir.
But he announced alcohol non-essential in businesses. And at that time, it included bourbon, which is we use a bourbon co-packer at that time. So like, we're not making rum. And I was like, oh, fuck. Just quit my job, no healthcare. I was like, everything's gone. Lost my wedding. I was like, oh, boy. Well, but it all worked out. Here we are, right? 15 states.
We've talked. So we've, a lot of the businesses that we talk to are people who have opened up since that kind of time. And one of the things we've kind of started to realize is that all of the businesses that have kind of opened up or just kind of had to build their business model around COVID seem like they can just do anything.
Yes.
Because you kind of have to learn it's some kind of like an ego death or something.
Mm-hmm.
Like you just have to learn that you can't just go out and do something. You have to adapt every single day.
And the world doesn't care.
Exactly.
Like the world doesn't care. It's like, I've spent my whole life on this. Why isn't the universe just doing this for me? It's like, it doesn't care. You can try as hard as you want. There will be times, there are tribulations.
But I think that you carry that ethos forward, or at least it seems like all the people we've talked to. I mean, the business models, the cores are just so strong, and the people all like get to know each other really well too. So it's like you get a good culture going. So yeah, kudos to you guys for making it work.
You guys want to try it?
Absolutely.
Do it.
So before we do that, we just had some beer. They were great. But let's cleanse our palate.
Oh, here we go.
And have a little bit of an Underberg break.
Hey.
Berg break, as we call it here on the
That's
show.
so genious. I love that.
And,
how'd you open that? I was trying so hard to open that. I was like, you just did that in a second. I was like, what the hell, dog?
It's all right. It's dum-dum proof.
No kidding.
Before we actually started hitting the record button, you were saying that you hadn't really tried Underberg that much previously until you started working in the quote unquote service industry and around the alcohol spirits.
So true.
Yeah.
I think Underberg. I think everyone in the service industry just tries to find something that they can drink that they're like, oh, no one else will like this. I want to be the person who likes this. That's what it is. Green
People
chartreuse.
still pretend to like Malort. Yeah, green chartreuse is great.
Dude,
yeah.
Malort is super popular in Kansas, by the way.
Saltwater Woody.
Jesus.
Go back to your Facebook group, sir.
Like, Jameson's a big one. Like, there's so many spirits that are that, but Underberg, Underberg has a crazy history. Yeah,
it's 5 generations.
It's
right?
over 175 years of delicious goodness. 43 different countries are taking herbs from those countries to just put in this little bottle just for us to enjoy.
Well,
we
found out today that the rep or the salesperson for Underberg is a person that I know who literally lives right down the road from me, which is just all the smallest world.
Yeah.
I mean,
do we just chug this? Do we just do it as a shot?
Mueller knows how to give the proper directions, I think.
I would just say 45-degree angle. Let it all come out at once. Don't sip it. And then what I do, this is a little controversial. I don't know.
I love controversy.
I let it pool underneath my tongue.
Freaking weird.
And then I just take it all back at once.
Oh my God.
I do that as well.
I'm gonna have to bleep that part out.
Yeah,
all right.
Say.
Cheers, guys.
You guys don't mind if I cry when I drink this, do you?
No.
Thank you, Underberg.
Thank you, Underberg. Turn it up, baby. Let's go.
You really hear that little glug, glug, glug. And it's such like a pleasant little experience.
It's a good ASMR opportunity there. But yeah, if you've never had Underberg before, ask your bartender. See if they have it wherever you are listening.
And they do.
And they probably do, especially here in Louisville. Louisville loves Underberg.
You know what it goes really good with? Grilled pineapple.
Yeah, to that point.
As John mentioned, there's 3 Saltwater Woody fans at this table, so
Hey, yo.
I'd like to try it.
Let's try it.
Let's fuck it up.
Okay,
now
so
here's
straight
what-
first.
Yeah, so here's the dilemma. I brought the grilled pineapple, which is our flavor that we just came out with. I meant to bring pineapple juice and a little bit of triple sec or sweet and sour to make homemade pineapple smoky margaritas, but because I'm an idiot, I didn't bring any of that. So I literally just have warm grilled pineapple. So I unfortunately am doing you guys a disservice. And please don't try it until we get through the interesting piece, and you'll know why you know what I mean in a second. Here you go.
Thank you, sir.
Choose that, baby.
Oh, we should have done this in the first place.
Yeah,
we gotta see the colors.
You gotta see the colors here. But yes, so we're trying it warm here, and the thing on grilled pineapple was, we have three other flavors before we had grilled pineapple. We had our original, our white rum. We had our grapefruit, was our best seller.
That was good.
Oh, it's a killer.
Yeah.
I mean, I've had more shots of grapefruit Saltwater Woody than I've had of anything in my entire life.
Yeah.
But the thing on grilled pineapple is, grapefruit, lemon, and original are all.
my goodness.
We do have ice. This is a game changer.
I was wondering what the fuck you were doing back
I forgot
there.
I brought ice last time. Yeah.
It is frozen. It is still ice. But the crazy thing about grapefruit, lemon, those aren't rum flavors, right?
Yeah.
It's not coconuts. It's not pineapple.
They also somehow are when you really think about
exactly
it.
because it works because rum enhances sweeter flavors. It works perfectly. But with grilled pineapple, we wanted to get back to our roots. Pineapple is the best selling flavor or second best selling flavor in the rum category, second to coconut. So essentially, we want to do pineapple, but we're small. We can't compete with the real pineapples out there. We want to do something totally different. And smoked is something that just completely does not exist in the rum category. It exists in the tequila. It exists in the bourbon.
Yeah.
It kind of exists in the gin. Obviously, it exists in a couple other ones in the beer. But it doesn't exist in the rum category. We wanted to bring it to there. And what better way and what more American way can you think of? And how do you make a pineapple American? Well, throw it on the grill. So that is what we did with our grilled pineapple. Again, it is sweet. It is smoky. I call it our Game of Thrones rum. It's our Song of Ice and Fire. When you first smell this, guys, you're going to smell it and you're going to get all pineapple. You're going to get all sweet. And even when you taste it, the front of it, and don't taste it yet, but when you taste it, the whole front end of your mouth is all going to be sweet. But the second you swallow it, the second it leaves your palate, it's all going to be smoke. And it's a different smoke than a mezcal smoke. It is more of a grilled smoke that we were aiming for. But the reason I don't want you guys to try it yet, because there is a cheers that I want to do because I'm a loser and the chief party officer. Because I want to, but I have a question for you guys.
Okay.
And you guys are all smart guys. So I have a question for you.
Debatable.
Do you guys know?
Engelbert Humperdinck. It's always Engelbert Humperdinck.
Yes.
Okay.
But do you guys know, if you had to think logically, what comes before part B?
Yes, I do.
What is it?
Part A.
Part A!
You are a dad.
Yeah.
So dad
Chief
jokes.
party officer, baby.
Oh.
And don't feel like you need to shoot it. Just sip it. Have a good time.
It's delicious.
And at the end of the day, my go-to is I mix this with pineapple juice. I mix it with triple sec, sour, whatever. I love making smoky pineapple margaritas out of these guys. But ultimately, you can mix this with Sprite. If you mix it with coconut Red Bull, I call it my electric pina colada. Because it's basically, obviously, coconut and pineapple makes kind of a pina colada with a couple other flavors.
This guy parties.
Dude,
This guy parties.
it's an issue, actually. It was invented in Denver, by the way. The electric pina. We launched the grilled pineapple, and I was in Denver and with the grilled pineapple, and I was at a bar.
Which bar?
Blake Street Tavern on Blake Street, and they were like, "Oh yeah, we can mix this with our coconut Red Bull. It kind of makes pina colada." I was like, "Oh, what do you call that?"
Yeah,
it does.
Yeah, I
and
can
I was
see.
like, "What about the electric pina colada?" And I was like, "Let's go,
Boogie, woogie, woogie.
boogie, woogie, woogie over there."
So it tastes like rum, but then the
Kills.
thing is the pineapple is really, really like, because you were saying it's fruit juice. It's not like some kind of weird
It's real.
amalgamation of like whatever Red Sea something or other, whatever yellow 23 or whatnot. It tastes like pineapple.
It tastes like real
And
pineapple.
The grill actually really comes through
And
as well.
it sticks with you. That's what sticks with you. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a unique smoke tastes that you don't always get in other beverages. That's
I don't think I put anything in this.
I know.
Oh.
I was kind of thinking,
Yeah.
like, to me, like a pineapple juice would just like.
Welcome to Danger Zone, guys.
Yeah,
Welcome to
yeah,
Danger-
yeah,
And
yeah.
the nice thing is, so also like rum punch is really big. It's actually the second cocktail ever made with rum, or actually second documented cocktail ever made with rum, behind the daiquiri. But the planters or the punch or rum punch with this is so perfect because punch is so sweet. And ice that smoke is pretty muted here, but like in a big punch with a bunch of sweet, that smoke just helps to balance it out. So if you
Yeah.
make this with a good rum punch, I mean, you throw any juice you want, orange juice, pineapple juice, grenadine, or sorry, not grenadine, cranberry juice, whatever, and then throw this in there.
It'll cut it.
Mhm.
Perfectly cuts
Yeah.
it.
And it's still
super
70
easy.
proof, even though like it tastes quite fruity. It's still,
Still
it's
70
not
proof.
like, yeah, it's
People
still.
wouldn't. So, and also another flavored rum thing is to do 42 proof,
Mhm.
like Malibu.
It's a
I
Malibu,
think.
right?
Yeah, Malibu does 42 proof, which is super
And-
crushable.
Okay,
super good.
sorry, Malibu.
We forgot them.
That shit is so fucking.
Oh, it's bad. It's hard, and it's all sugar.
It's
and, like,
suntan lotion, man.
It's all sugar. And actually, fun fact, guys, for every serving, there's only 3 grams of sugar and 73
Holy
I
calories.
thought there'd be at
shit.
least 100
Whoa.
calories.
Nah.
73?
73 calories and 3 grams of sugar.
Wow.
And real cane sugar, and obviously allulose. There's actually a sugar that's present in that's actually in fruit.
Mhm.
That's not
It
cane
does.
sugar.
It has the like fruit sugar
Yeah.
smell,
Real.
and it's almost intimidating. But once you realize it's not like candy, like sugar, like artificial,
Yep. Stick to
uh,
your tongue.
yeah, like it. That's a weird thing. I don't think I've had like this experience before, especially in the rum variety. I've only had like darker, like rums that have excited me, or like the plantation, like 10 year,
Sure.
or the OFTD,
Which have
or-
their place.
yeah,
Which
yeah.
have their place.
And those are great for mixers, but like I can just have this.
Mhm. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
oof.
That's
Actually, I do remember like
Danger.
at the only times that I get your all stuff because I always buy to share with Courtney because she like really likes it because
Fuck
it's
yeah.
like fruity and fun. And usually I just end up drinking it all. It's
As you
just,
should.
Like I'm not even making cocktails.
I
with
do
it.
want to
It's just like
say
little pours.
that the branding on this has been great.
Yeah.
I mean, I've seen your other bottles, but this one's in particular, you see this convertible surfboard in the back seat. You have waves crashing with pineapple slices and half pineapples, and you got like the beach vibes. And yeah, just right off the bat, grilled pineapple, American grilled pineapple flavored rum, sweet and smoky grilled pineapple. And then this is something that you were already saying earlier, but just the description of this thing is
Here we go,
perfect
baby.
and so on brand. We are proud that our flavored rum is distilled in the American coastal South. Our recipe is blended and bottled in small batches and cut to proof with diluted salt water, providing an ultra smooth and smoky pineapple flavored rum. So that's pretty standard for most like descriptions of spirits.
But ChatGPT couldn't write that if they tried.
Yeah.
Nah.
So, but here's where it gets fun, which I love that you own this, to your point earlier. We know we don't have a long and fascinating history, but we do have a dang great tasting spirit that will transport you back to senior year spring break. Yeah, you remember that year.
I love
And
it.
that's what it actually says. Yeah, you remember that year. Yep.
I went to
100%.
Disney World. Didn't taste like that.
That's literally what is inside of like Mickey Mouse's costume.
But I was
That's
thinking
what it smells
about
like in there.
accurate.
I was thinking about this with white
of them are.
wine and thinking about like as a spritz.
Mhm.
And we do have this sake seltzer
Turn me
Okay.
on,
from
baby.
Lexington,
Oh.
Kentucky.
Sake seltzer.
This is a merge. This is from the Void in Lexington. But they do a plum ginger sake seltzer. So
Hell yeah.
I'm adding this.
Mix it up.
We're doing
We
it.
we swim well in all waters, my friend. As we said.
Spritz me.
Share it.
Spritz
dude.
me.
I want to have
Come on,
it.
I'm telling you, I think I'm gonna mix it with the garage beer.
Yeah,
I'm gonna finish mine
Yeah,
here a
yeah,
little
yeah.
bit. I'm gonna mix it up on my next one. On my next run.
So, can I share a nice little rum cocktail recipe that I have?
Hey, baby.
This is something that
I
I
mean,
haven't
that's
had in
delightful.
years, but it's something that I had when I was
This is
freshly
fantastic.
21, 22, 23. When my friend Mike and I, we would go camping. We brought 2 things with us to go camping. We would bring a bottle of Sailor Jerry's
Oof, turn me on.
and probably like just a couple 4-packs of 16-ounce Budweisers.
Ooh.
And our method was much like looking back now. It's like a really crazy like spaghetti of sorts. Spaghetti with Aperol Spritz and Miller High Life. So what we would do instead is we would crack open a can of the Budweiser. We would take a big old sip, and then we would just top it off with Sailor Jerry's.
Baby.
And then we had Jerry Buds.
Jerry Buds. I like it.
Jerry Bud night was a bad night every time.
Surprising.
I was waiting to see like the conclusion of the story.
When you
this
said
was- this
Sailor
was last
Jerry's, I got
weekend,
flashbacks.
I don't recommend it
I'm still
unless
drunk.
you want to just get drunk for the sake of getting drunk. Like it's not a tasting experience by any means.
Yeah, Sailor Jerry's is rough.
Yeah,
It's like when you watch Dragon Ball Z for the first time, and they're like, on the next episode, and you're like, I know what happens. He's dying.
All right, David, walk us through this this concoction that you just made, though.
The spritz, the sake,
What do you
smoked pineapple.
What do you call it?
Sake apple.
David made it. Let David do
Sake
it.
Woody, Sake Woody, Sake
Woody.
Sake Woody, Sake. There's something there, but nah.
I'm calling it a pine wood sock.
There you go. Okay, I like it.
Ooh, turn it
I like
on.
it. Okay.
All right. Now you have a way to get into the Lexington market even more.
Ooh, I will tell you. Also, the one fun thing about Saltwater Woody in this last 3 years, I grew up in Louisville, right? And I was one of those people in Louisville was like, oh, Louisville, we're not part of Kentucky. We're like cool, we're hip, we're fun. And like I never explored outside of Louisville, right? Like I thought, never went outside of Louisville, and I was very sheltered. And with Saltwater Woody, I've traveled every corner of Kentucky, Paducah, Bowling Green, Lexington, everywhere. And I'm here to say, shout out to my girl Lakin in Paducah. If you haven't been to Paducah,
Yeah.
it is fucking awesome.
I love
I
Paducah.
turned up in Paducah on a Tuesday night, like out till like 1 a.m, like turned up. And like I was robbed in my first few years of life because I never wanted to go outside of Louisville, but Kentucky is sick. And I got to travel because for Saltwater Woody, and I am obsessed with it. And again, I learned it all from the bar scene, but here to shout out, Kentucky is fucking sick.
120 counties.
It's something that's
120
actually
counties, baby.
maybe happening all over like the U.S. is that we are seeing a resurgence of small town communities.
About it.
And I feel like a lot of it is, because I know Paducah has a couple good craft breweries. And then there's a lot of just good like local hangout bars and like kind of cocktail mixology kind of comes into play.
Hell yeah.
So all communities to some extent are built around like the local pub or the local bar, or the local like watering hole or the third space as we like talk about sometimes. But it's fun to be a part of that with a good product too.
It is. And the best thing is like I used to be in banking. It's like going to banking meetings. Again, I loved my time in banking, but like I was selling treasury management products.
Mhm.
I won't even
That's so
bore you guys.
hot.
I know, turn me on, right? But like I won't even bore you guys with what those are.
You weren't drinking Underberg at those meetings.
Wasn't surprisingly after those meetings I was, but I'm selling something fun. I'm meeting people who want. Again, it's not like I'm like making them drink something that's gonna that's poison. Like it's literally just something that tastes good, fun. And when I mentioned you can make it with coconut Red Bull, it's like, oh, we're turning up right now. Oh, we're doing shots. Oh no, we can have them as cocktails. No, we'll have them as shots. Oh, okay. Well, here we go.
And you have a very unique product too. So it's
it's
not like you're
different.
necessarily like, you should choose my company A because X, Y, and Z. It's just like, hey, try this.
I'm not coming in and saying, hey, I'm selling bourbon. Or hey, here's another craft tequila for you that you've heard of. Or here's another craft, whatever that you've heard of before. It's
Yeah.
like I'm selling something you've never had before. I can guarantee it. Let's turn up.
I think it's because the word grilled is in like the label, but like not to be offensive, but like
Hey, baby.
cooking with this sounds
Turn me on.
interesting. Like a little.
I could marinate some chicken.
Rum-
or
No,
like
what-
do like
Rum ham.
rum ham.
Rum
Yeah,
ham.
of course.
Rum
course.
ham. Great reference.
Don't people usually put like cherries and pineapples in like those Hawaiian hams too? So
You
like,
don't- marinate with alcohol for the record.
It's the opposite, right?
Yeah, you would flambe it or do something
Shut
along
the
those lines.
fuck up,
Or
David.
Tomato,
Or, yeah.
potato.
But I would.
Turn me
Or
on.
if I'm just grilling and I have that charcoal
Yeah.
smell in my nose,
yeah.
I'd be like, yeah, let's just have a little saltwater woody.
Cabin's Quarters, I know, has made something with our lemon before. They made a dessert.
Ooh,
But
that
I'm
could
not
be
good
delicious.
at things to know what it was.
Some kind of like a rum cake, pineapple
It was
rum
like
cake or
it
some
was
shit.
It was
I'm gonna
it
guess
was lemon. It was like a
lemon.
lemon sorbet thingy. But
just-
shout out to Brandy, Chef B. She made something. It was, and I never got to try it, but it was sick. Like you can, I mean, obviously you can cook with liquor. I mean, people cook with alcohol all the time. But you can do a lot of wacky things with these, and I love hearing when people make wacky things with them. It's like shit. Because I'm not smart enough to come up with things, and when someone else comes up with things, I'm like, sick.
So can we have, just go ahead and put it out there on the record right now.
Let's go.
Can we have a Kentucky Commons Radio Hour podcast cocktail competition with
Oof.
Saltwater
Ooh,
Woody?
yeah, we should.
Whoa.
And best cocktail recipe wins.
And Yes, I'm in.
We'll put it on Instagram. People can send in their best ones, and then we'll next time you're in town, we'll make them.
And the winner gets the amazing swag.
Yeah.
For
Swag
the
package.
team here, for the MVPs here that have you on the podcast, I brought hats that are sexy AF. Literally, the second you put it on, everyone is jealous of you, which is dangerous. Shirts, red, black, and blue.
Well, let's go ahead and
Let's
go ahead and bring
show.
them out.
Yeah.
We asked
Here we go.
as part of your show and tell, you want to kind of talk about the merch that you have, and it is fun merch.
It's and fun branding again. Not like a lot of craft spirits try to be so like heavily like
Proper.
craft and proper. It's like, oh, we sell X, Y, Z. We do this. Like we just like, dude, this is like people like tell us that they might not even like be drinkers. They're like, oh, the hat looks cool. Like, let's go.
Give
Yeah.
me that hat.
Let's
right
go.
now.
Oh, toe, baby.
Let's go.
And I can't believe I'm not wearing a hat right now. I usually always wear this hat.
No offense to Malt Europe, I love you.
Yeah.
but
Oh, of course.
Just doing this right now.
Muller's got
No
like
offense.
3 hats for every day of the week.
I
Hat
yeah.
guy.
See how it
Hat
goes.
guy.
Honestly, yeah.
Oh, how did you get the number right perfectly? You got the.
I know it's
the
I know
dots
it's
right
3.
perfectly.
I know it's 3.
That's a good looking hat. This guy belongs on a podcast. Damn.
Hold up a T-shirt for the cameras
Oh,
too.
and
They're,
wear a
they're right
t-shirt. Wear a
over,
t-shirt.
right next to you, Muller.
Yeah, you guys are gonna have to fight over these. Each one is kind of a different material. One's like a heather, one's like a heavier. And I'm wearing one. Actually, I got shit on.
Oh,
it.
okay.
I was transporting some things.
Chief party officer.
Of always has things. So we had shirts here that are all soft as hell.
These are
I
like the district shirts. The district shirts are my
District-
favorite.
They are the best.
So I actually used to be in college. I was a custom apparel salesman. That was one of my. I had like tons of jobs in college, but I sold custom apparel, so I became a shirt snob. These District make some of the best shirts in the market.
They're comfy. They hold up over time.
Oh.
Yeah, and they kind of look vintage day one.
Yeah, they look good as shit, dog.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's huge. And shout out to locally Devin and Kelly, who does pretty much all of our point of sale. But I also brought, we got surfboard keychains, floating keychains.
You don't know how important this is until that one time when you
Falls
have this
in
on
the
your
water.
keys and you're like,
Huge.
thank God for Saltwater Woody.
That saved my
That
life.
saved my life.
And the biggest thing is, we also have, he forgot to bring that for the dog.
Oh, we should have given that one to Leo.
Yeah, we have a dog bandana or just also a bandana. But we also have these. You want to know the biggest differences in koozies is neoprene. So real neoprene, high quality. You guys get neoprene? You gotta go neoprene.
We just got some neoprene koozies last week for the first time ever. Ale Trail koozies.
Got-
It's like a wetsuit for your
It
beverage.
literally is, and it keeps it in, but you have to go neoprene. But it is a like.
This reminds me of my 2020 days.
Michael is a bandito.
You're the saltwater bandit.
Saltwater bandit. For those of you guys listening, he has it over his face.
Yeah.
That looks good. You look ready to go party.
I'm ready.
This guy could turn up.
Yeah, man. They call me the CPO for a reason, I guess.
But the one thing is with point of sale that a lot of brands get wrong is they try to order too many of something, so they go cheap. And it's not good, but I want someone to wear my shirts because they're comfy. I want someone to wear my hats because they look good. I want someone to like feel, and the branding obviously it has to work, but like it has to all work. So we don't cheap out much to the. What I say, shirts cost a lot of money sometimes, and hats cost a lot of money.
We know.
Exactly. Yeah,
Yeah.
you guys get it. But it's so worth it. So to see someone wearing our hats, and even if they don't even, it's like, dude, that's Saltwater Woody. It's like, oh, I just
That's
kinda
the
like this
most
hat.
fun thing too. It just must be how like musicians feel like when you hear your like song on the radio or something. If you just like see somebody in the street rocking your stuff, not for any reason, just because they like the shirt. It's comfy
Huge.
and they like the memory they have when they got it or whatever.
Huge.
Yeah, it's big.
Yeah, it's so yeah, we brought point of sale for the guys here. So try not to turn up too much wearing those, and be careful. Like I said, you're gonna walk out of this shop tonight, and you're like, oh my gosh,
We all
happened to me?
cuddle in the hammock at the end of these things.
Yes,
in
wait,
the
you have a
back.
hammock in here?
Yeah, we can all four
think
cuddle
it
in
does,
it tonight.
Jeez,
Yeah.
Louise.
I think it just unlocked like another circle of Dante's Inferno. But what Michael and I just did was take the Saltwater Woody pineapple grilled,
Uh-huh.
mix that with the plum sake or plum and
The
ginger
plum
sake.
pine. What'd you say? Plum pine.
Well, if I said it, then you
Pinewood-
wouldn't have to say it. But
Pinewood
I'm saying
sake.
it.
Pinewood sake. Yeah,
Yeah,
there you
Pinewood
go.
sake.
Thank you.
And then also garage beer lime.
Okay.
Turn me on. That's what I'm turning up
So now
on.
we have beer, sake, rum.
They say not to grill in the garage, but I think we're doing that right now.
Yeah.
Oh,
I don't know. I did it. We were trying.
it's
Yeah.
good. I like it. I like it.
There's a lot going on in my
I
brain.
also
right
got
now.
some tahini flakes in here still from my
Oh,
last.
actually, turn me on to the side. Where did
Where did Tahini go?
Did it go
Muller
somewhere?
stole it. Yeah.
Shake her up.
We're just gonna throw it in. We're not gonna make a.
I mean, it's no Jerry Bud, but it's It's pretty good.
I'm not mad at it.
We're just gonna.
It's definitely achieving the same goal.
So I was going to ask you too about, we talked kind of about your development of new flavors and stuff like that. But as you've been going around, and we kind of talked about what you've experienced going out into the market, but has there been anything aside from just like the growth of small communities, meeting all these new people, places, anything that surprised you, or like looking back on it, just something that you did not expect was going to be what your life is now, or just, I don't know, any shockers?
What I can't believe in the alcohol world, and this I guess translates to all people competing with something that is a flavor like CPG, anything. I thought you just make something that tastes good and you're done.
Mm-hmm.
Like, right? Everyone like, oh, they like the taste of this. Everyone's going to start buying it. And no, I'm sure everyone listening and all you guys can all think of something right now that has gotten so popular that doesn't taste good, doesn't have good branding.
It's because they didn't get the barrel from the bottom of the ocean.
Exactly.
I mean,
They missed out. They missed out.
They missed out.
But what's so interesting is what was kind of shocking, both good and bad. Like, I know how the world works, but what's so weird is the alcohol space is just fueled by cash.
Okay.
And like the competition you're going up against, like you think you're just going up against flavor. Like at the end of the day, if I'm going up against Malibu, at the end of the day, like, oh, my shit tastes better than yours. Well, no offense, Malibu. I think
certain people.
I think to certain people. But if a bartender, for example, if I go into a bar and they're debating between Malibu and Saltwater Woody, let's just say the price is the same for argument. They might not pick Saltwater Woody, but that's because, and Malibu, I don't know actually anything about Malibu and their world, but
We'll say widget.
We'll say widget rum. We'll say widget rum.
Yeah.
They might be giving the bar umbrellas, things.
Yeah.
Or they might be doing something. They're just
giving him a deal on their vodka that they also make. Like,
exactly.
Yeah.
And there's some alcohol brands that say, hey, if you buy so much of this alcohol I have at the end of the year, we'll give you so much of this fancy alcohol that you'll never get ever.
Yeah, that's right.
And
that's
I'm
right.
like, there's so much weird competition that goes
like
on in the alcohol
politics,
space. It truly is politics. And I operate in the world of like relationships. Like I think alcohol is still a relationship. It's a relationship building. Like there's some people who bring in Saltwater Woody because they like the flavor and they do that and it's great. But there's some people who bring it in because they like that I came in and had electric pina colada shots with them, right? Like that's the fun thing where it's a relationship. But like when I go into a bar and there's XYZ rum that I know is paying them or I know is doing events with them that are way out of my budget and like things like that, I'm like, I won't be able to compete. That's what I think shocks me and surprised me the most. That again, when you go into anything bright eyed and bushy tailed, you're like, oh, if I make the best tasting XYZ or if I make the best whatever, it'll just work. And no, it's you had to be marketing to your distributor the right way. You have to be marketing to your liquor stores and bars the right way. You have to have the right point of sale. You have to make sure the consumers are buying it. You have to make sure the consumers are buying it here. You have to make sure the cocktails are being mixed the right way. You have to make sure the branding is staying the same in all those 4 tiers of the market. I mean, there's literally so much to be aware of every day, and everyone is attacking you. It's literally David versus Goliath, but there are 5 Goliaths, like The Office.
And that Facebook group.
And that fucking Facebook group.
Not to mention all that, they could love you. They could love your product. They see you all the time, but they just have 1,000 other things going on in their mind too, where you're just not top of mind on a certain single week when you really need to be on top of their mind.
Exactly.
And they're just like, oh shit, sorry man, I kind of forgot to do that this week. My bad.
And even if you do the back end work, the consumer
might not do it anyway.
The real that's their choice. So
I got on the menu.
So
got
you're doing the
store.
back end work, and then you still have to do the front end work to market it. Like, we have great placements, but we need more like awareness.
Whatever.
I've mentioned this on the podcast before, I think, but I did some work for Brown Forman previously, and a number of years ago, Jack Daniels did a study, and they basically came down to the idea of like you need. I think it was 9 touches for a brand before you buy a new brand from a marketing perspective.
I can relate.
That's like you
9
need
touches.
Yeah, 9 touches, John. Yeah. 6 to 9 touches.
Exactly how many it takes me.
Yeah. It could be a radio ad. It could be a social media ad that you see. It could be a
TikTok.
POS display. It could be a TikTok, but that an influencer was like talking about. And then all of a sudden it's a convenience thing. So then you're in the store, you're buying a 6-pack of something, and then you see a display for Jack Daniels. It's like, oh yeah, actually I've been meaning to try that. And then you decide to buy. It's about, you've already heard about the brand and it's convenience.
Yeah, and getting all that right is hard.
It's hard.
Because it's so many processes.
No, it's not.
Yeah, you're right. It's actually pretty easy. But no, and the worst part is, like the big companies, not to shit on anyone, and it's XYZ
It's
big
widget.
brand. It's widget brand. But the wacky thing is like what my job is, let's say for the state of Kentucky. So let's say I'm Kentucky state manager for Saltwater Woody, and I technically am. But yeah,
That's not the
let's
CPO.
let's just say that's my only job.
Yeah.
So as a craft brand, I'm going into every single liquor store, every single bar, trying to party with our distributors, trying to party with the liquor stores, trying to make sure the consumers see me all day long, trying to do everything I can. Versus if you're the Kentucky state manager for XYZ widget alcohol, you're essentially what I call a laptop jockey, where you're literally standing behind your laptop, seeing the data and saying, hey, our XYZ brand isn't selling this much. We need to push our distributor and have these incentives and be data driven. It's like they've almost made alcohol back to what I left in banking. It's like we're bankers who happen to sell alcohol. And it's like, no, banking or saltwater woody or alcohol should be fun. And it is so much of it's esoteric, whatever the word is. It's something that should just be felt versus seen, and
more of the small business ethos, less of like the big business cartel like that. I don't know, we fight a lot. I mean, that's the big thing in beer because it was even. I mean, I guess in all liquor categories, but it was all exacerbated by prohibition, and you have to fight through so much red tape. And the people who survived or knew how to work in that system kind of have an evolutionary advantage to where we are now. So yeah, but I think especially COVID was a good maybe kind of reset for some of that
for a lot of people.
So much has changed since the 17th century.
So much, yeah. Well, not
Kind
everything. I mean,
kind of.
Well, Paul, if you're willing, we do know that you come from kind of like a pirate mentality background with you guys. Your heritage and finding the barrel and stuff like that.
Here we go.
You're also an appreciator of like industrialism, and you kind of have that like banking background and stuff like that. Some things change through the centuries, some things never do.
Here we go.
If you're willing, we do have a little game we would like to play with you this evening.
Turn me on, I'm in.
So we might call this game, was it said by a 20th century industrialist or a 17th century pirate? And have you guys read this yet?
I haven't.
All right, so you guys can play too. So I'll read some quotes here. Should I read them in a pirate voice? We'll find out as we go.
No.
I'll read you. So just as an example, I'll read you the first one, and you guys just to get it just for how the game goes. You'll just have to guess industrialist or pirate.
Okay.
Opportunity is missed by most people because it dresses in overalls and looks like work.
I'm going with
industrial.
pirate.
No, that's an
Pirate.
industrialist.
Yeah, but you heard the voice. It's pirate.
That's right. That's not Warren Buffett talking like that. Like, it's a pirate. It's obviously Blackbeard.
That was our example, and I chose it because I am always persistently dressed in overalls. Thomas Edison. That's a Thomas Edison. So industrialist.
Wow.
Gotcha. All right. So now the game begins. Industrialist or pirate? It's a blessing for a man to have a hand in determining his own fate.
A pirate.
No, industrialist.
It's going to be a pirate every time.
Well, I'm reading them like this because otherwise I think it would be...
I heard that in Pirates
fun.
of the Caribbean.
Okay. Well, those aren't pirates. Those are actors.
That was Barbosa.
Okay. All right. So we've got...
Oh, I'm pirate.
Pirate, industrialist.
Yeah, Barbosa said, "How do you like them apples?"
That was a quote from Blackbeard, the pirate.
That was a pirate.
Blackbeard,
that
the
actually
pirate.
was a pirate. Okay.
Yeah.
Side note, fun fact about Blackbeard. Pretty sure. No, Captain Morgan. Never mind. Continue.
Well, if you have a fun fact about Captain Morgan, we'd love to hear that too.
Well, Captain Morgan is a son of a bitch.
Yeah.
Because everyone thinks Captain Morgan's a big rum guy. Well, he was a British pirate, right? So it stands to question that he was raiding Spanish ships.
Uh-huh.
And Spanish at the time were drinking wine. So during his pirate
they're
days,
obsessed with like port and like that shit.
big time.
Yeah.
So during his days, his whole crew and he were drinking wine.
Fucking posers.
It wasn't until he actually retired to the island of Barbados that he drank rum, drank so much, couldn't get out of bed because his legs were so swollen. But actually, Captain Morgan, everyone thinks of him as the guy who puts his leg up on a barrel. He was nasty as they come. He would literally hang. So basically, he would come into your city, kill all the women and children, and then the guys, to get where the money was, he would hang them sometimes by their balls. Like hang them from their balls until they would rip off, and he would have them tell you, "Hey, where's the money?" And he would ransack. There's some wacky stories about Captain Morgan because he would raid people, and he would go nuts. No pun intended, I guess. But so he was wacky. So whenever I think of Captain Morgan now, I think he is the worst.
What a baller.
And Blackbeard, I know, has a rum connection, but I can't remember it off the top of my head right now. But I remember Captain Morgan's nuts, but I can't believe that's written by a pirate.
I'll
love
just
it.
drink Saltwater Woody from now.
Exactly. Nothing else.
All
Nothing
right,
else.
next quote. I'll tell you what I do. I go into a town and I hang them by their balls.
For a second, I was like, what?
No, that was not it. I'll tell you the secret to getting rich. Redacted. You try to be greedy when others are fearful. And when you try to be fearful when others are greedy.
Has to be industrialist.
That's Buffett.
Yeah, I'm gonna go pirate.
I already know.
still
I know
doing
that,
a pirate
that's Buffett.
voice?
That is Buffett.
Wait,
That's
is?
Warren Buffett quote.
That
yeah.
is a Warren Buffett quote. Oh,
I'll tell you the
nice.
secret to getting that's
That's Jimmy Stewart.
It's Jimmy Stewart.
Oh,
I'll tell you the
I want a big
secret to
one.
getting rich. How do you do Warren Buffett? You try to be greedy when others are fearful, and you try to be fearful when others are greedy.
Is that still the pirate?
well, hey, they're kind of the same thing.
Do you like the moon,
Why do
Harry?
all my voices sound Irish?
You want me to take a big old lasso and just get the moon
Get the
for you,
moon for
Mary?
you got a good Jimmy Stewart.
It's pretty good.
All right, number 4.
David's never seen It's a Wonderful Life, so
You have Clarence energy. Am I wrong?
anyway. Anyway,
Money is a terrible master, but an excellent servant.
I think just all these are done. Are any of these pirates? I don't know.
Pirate.
I don't know.
I'm going to say industrialist again. I don't know.
P.T. Barnum. Yeah, not exactly an
okay.
industrialist, but in his own way, absolutely an industrialist.
They never found him after he jumped off the airplane, right?
What?
Like with all the money.
What? You're thinking of you're thinking of DB Cooper.
This is like the
whoa, wait a second.
This is like the greatest show on earth guy. Barnum and Bailey. Okay, Muller's trying to make a joke.
I got it, but I didn't know. I couldn't have got the DB Cooper thing. I didn't know that was his name.
Same
I knew
here.
it. Yeah.
All right. In an honest service. Tell David to swab the poop deck or something, please. Oh, there's ice everywhere. That's fine. I shouldn't have put it on top of the fridge. That's probably my fault. In an honest service, there's thin commons, low wages, and hard labor. In this, plenty and satiety, pleasure and ease, liberty and power.
That's the only one I think is actually a pirate one.
Okay.
That sounds like a pirate.
No, I'm going to say pirate.
Okay.
Pirate.
It is Joe Biden.
No, it's not.
Bartholomew Black Bart Roberts.
Oh,
So I'm definitely a
shit.
pirate.
For a second, I was like, no way, it's Joe Biden. I was like, that's wild.
It was Hunter. Number 6. The question isn't who's gonna let me; it's who's gonna stop me.
Joe
That
Biden.
was Scottish.
Nah, it's Joe Biden. Maybe maybe that's a pirate again. I think I'm gonna go pirate there.
I don't know. Yeah.
That is from Russian-American novelist Ayn Rand. I'm assuming from Atlas Shrugged or The Fountainhead or something
Most
like that.
likely, yeah.
Yeah, not exactly an industrialist, but sometimes I
Don't
make
act-
up the titles and then I just go wild.
Don't ask Roger Baylor. He's never read Iron.
Never will.
Saw
Never
that
will.
tweet. Shout out Roger Baylor. Sorry. Go on.
If your ship doesn't come in, you swim out to meet it.
That's gotta be pirate.
I would assume pirate, but because it's tricky, I'm going to say industrialist.
Okay.
I think my new answer is Joe Biden.
These are actually all Joe Biden quotes. That was going to be the trick at the end. So that's by American humorist Jonathan Winters, who was like, he did a lot of like weird sitcoms in the 60s. We're going to call that an industrialist.
Huh.
TV is an industry, Michael.
That's
Alrighty. I'd like to live as a poor man with lots of money.
Warren Buffett?
pirate again?
That does sound like something Warren Buffett would say.
One of the writers on BioShock.
Industrialist.
Gary V.
Pablo Picasso.
What?
That's Pablo Picasso, an industrialist in the art industry.
Huh.
Yeah.
Mm.
For my part, I'm the most innocent man of them all. Only I've been sworn against by guilty men.
Pirate. Pirate? Pirate?
Captain William Kidd. Indeed a good pirate.
Huh. I don't know my pirates as well as I should.
Do y'all
Well,
ever know about the?
I thought it'd be
I'm gonna
easier.
I'm gonna pull a John.
Yeah.
Are y'all aware of the treasure in Nova Scotia,
Oak Island?
Oak Island?
Of course. David, you know about this.
Yeah.
no, I
so
don't.
John, okay, John.
Walk us down the road, Michael. Oh, you want me to do it?
Yeah, you do it.
All right,
You were very
so-
excited about this, so
I don't exactly know where the legend started, but in I think it's in Nova Scotia or Newfoundland, somewhere up in that Brunswick area of Canada on the East Coast. There's this. It's a pit sinkhole. It's it's a pit, and for some reason, there's a local legend that Sir Francis Drake, perhaps
/ maybe
Francis Bacon
/ the Captain Kidd.
Yeah. So some pirate buried an insane treasure there. Right around the time of the founding of the colonies and stuff like that. Whoa. And nobody knows how it got started, but they started excavating it and everybody's like, ha ha ha. But then they started pulling up little bits of stuff that shouldn't have been there. So they pulled up these palm leaves that only grow in the Caribbean. And then they pulled up these boards that were from a Spanish galley. And then they found these little bits of parchment and stuff that shouldn't have been there just naturally if it was a natural sinkhole. So they're like, oh, somebody actually excavated this and buried something. And then every time, because it's in coastal tidewaters, they try to dig down to it. It just ends up they spend $1 million and it just collapses.
There are tunnels that intentionally sink the sinkhole.
Yeah, right.
That were excavated.
That's debatable because some people say it's just the way that the tides go in and out. Sure. But every time they try to do it, it
yeah.
And so 4 or 5 or 6 different people have spent their entire fortunes at this point.
Is this on Discovery Channel?
There was a show. There is a show about it, and I don't think they've ever actually
got to the bottom of it.
No, they're trenches.
No pun intended.
Yeah.
It was intended.
They flood out every time.
Which is it purposefully? Is it a trap that was set for? And then there are wild theories out there okay, so it's Sir Francis Drake, and he's just the original Shakespeare manuscripts or
Sir Francis Bacon. He was actually Shakespeare.
Francis Drake, yeah, Bacon. Yeah, Bacon was actually Shakespeare, and he had the manuscripts down at the very bottom of this thing. So that was that was the point of Oak Island Captain Kidd. I did a John tangent on that one. I apologize.
No, I'm into it. I'm turned on by this. Okay, I'm interested.
David, you gonna do the last 2?
Arg.
You should have been the pirate all along.
Wealth is like a seawater.
No, you shouldn't have.
The more we drink, the thirstier we become. And the
You're just doing old Greg.
Fame.
Okay.
Industrialist.
No.
But it sounds like pirate, but it does.
But I'm going to say
industrialist. Okay, industrialist.
That's from Arthur Schopenhauer.
He was more of a philosopher than an industrialist, but it was such a good quote that it was
I'm in.
This one's hard. Why is the rum gone?
That is a great one.
Yeah.
That's a great. Wait, did you find those? You didn't have a Google of that?
No,
you made those yourself?
GPT.
Well, I just found quotes from industrialists and pirates.
No way.
And
you
then
came
put
up with
Johnny
that
Depp
yourself.
in the, well,
you
the
came up with that
did.
difference? That's
we put this game together just for you, Paul, if that's what you're asking.
No,
yes.
that's
yes.
You didn't just find that. You made it?
Yeah. We make games.
Yeah, we make games. That's what we do. Do you want to play a game? It's yeah. That's
so
why we're here.
I always
it's a
think
low stakes saw
and
game,
you can't leave until you get them all right.
No, do you guys ever play Jackbox?
Yes.
Yeah,
the people that come up with those trivia questions, I just think how do you come up with that? And I'm thinking you had to get that from something. You came up with that yourself.
There was an hour of Googling this morning.
What the hell?
They're John and David are really good at doing games.
It's fun.
They do games. I just
I'm impressed.
I just go on Reddit and be oh, what's this person asking? And then I just we'll create a segment.
I do want to do next time Paul's on. I want to do a segment where we do trolling of the Missionaries of Rum or whatever it was, Facebook account.
I love missionaries.
We should just spend the whole time live stream trolling that Facebook group though. So.
I'm in.
Yeah.
See if you got to let in.
Not yet.
For a while, they also wouldn't let you post TikToks to their Facebook page because I was doing all these rum based TikToks and they were getting banned. And then sometimes the admins would post TikToks. I'm like, you guys, I was so mad at them.
Fucking cartels, dude.
Literally,
cartels.
Well, I've really enjoyed this a lot so much. I'm just trying to. I've enjoyed this a lot so much.
Why is the rum gone?
Why is the rum always gone? No. What I'm trying to say eloquently, which I'm not doing very well, is that I've actually never had Saltwater Woody before today.
Hey, let's go, baby.
So
when John said there's 3 fans, he was talking about
those 3.
I count as 6
John.
people. So
yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Cool.
I have had enough Saltwater Woody as 6 people.
And you know, I'm all in now. I got the hat, I got the bandana. I've had like 3 cocktails at this point.
You are a vibe right now.
Yeah,
You're looking good.
I'm having good.
It's a vibe.
I'm having a good
You're
time.
looking better with the hat on. I got to tell you.
Yeah.
Thanks, John. I'm excited to keep trying this brand. It's gonna be fun. I'm gonna actually buy it in store. So, like you said, it's all about relationships. It's all about like just once you get to know somebody, especially in a smaller brand, you're like, wow, I am all in on this.
I'll tell you my favorite place in town to go get a saltwater woody cocktail and good food.
Please.
80-20 Kalins. They always have your all stuff going down there. Yeah, and they sell it like in the little like pouches. They do really
Shout
good
out
cocktails.
Kevin Turner there is the MVP bar manager.
Yeah,
he can.
I would love to go back there because I haven't been there since 2021, probably.
Like subtle shout out. Like it's my favorite burger in Louisville right now. So especially in this time of Louisville Beer Week.
Happy.
It is
Burger
Burger
Week.
Burger Week. Yeah,
It is Burger. Oh damn it! I need to touch them. It is
80-20.
Burger Week. Yeah.
As we're recording.
Can we get shit done?
Well, speaking of Louisville Burger Week, there's so many things going on in Louisville over the next few months. David, why don't you just tell us a bit about it?
Dude, this list is so much
It's
larger
so much.
than it normally is. Normally, we're like,
I'm
let's do
curious.
national
Let's
news.
go rapid
and then let's
fire.
talk
I'm excited
a
now.
little bit about the local news. But there's so much like packed into just August at this point, and then coming into September. And we have a lot more to announce too.
And I thought of something else in August. So before you leave August and go to September,
do you remember?
I'm excited about learning
Yes.
about these.
I wrote it down, but
Okay.
you don't.
The soonest one is going to be the Dog Days of Summer event at Monarch Beer Company. We had the idea to partner with a local brewery to make a can label that featured literally anybody that wanted to donate to Humane Society could get their dog on a label. So small donation, big reward. John here designed an amazing label. It's gonna
so if you donated to the cause, and I think we ended up raising like $1,800, I guess, so 18 spaces. Is that right?
Yeah.
And then everybody sent us a picture of their dog, and then we put them all together mosaic style, so you can pick those labels up with the beer at Monarch on Dog Days. Wow. Right?
Which is August 5th.
Yeah.
August 5th.
It's gonna be fun.
It's going to be really cool. There'll be a dog competition. There's multiple categories to enter.
Waggiest tail is always the most contentious.
They have some incredible like categories. It's going to be hosted, and you can get beer, and you can support Kentucky Humane Society as well because a lot of the proceeds are going back to them. It was a really fun event to host in the previous past, but also to build on this future. We also have Steins on Main.
There'll be stains.
Stains
Yeah.
on Main. No, Steins on Main, which is a first of its kind event coming to the Main Street area of downtown Louisville. It's going to be Oktoberfest theme with games, prizes, etc. I think we've got a ton of good partners in there.
And it's in the like old repurposed space,
The
right?
repurposed lot. Yeah.
Yep.
And it's good to see events coming back downtown because everybody is like,
needs it.
yeah, Louisville downtown.
Is that the brick surrounded?
Yep, exactly.
That place is sick.
Excellent place to drink some margin beers
It's a
with
great
your friends.
pickleball court. So
Yeah.
Huh.
Milewide's
Okay.
returning for another year for their Hops on the Hill festival. That's always a great time. They always pull in a couple breweries to do some fun stuff regionally. So I think this year they've got Dissolver, Street Side, and that's it. There's another one.
I don't remember.
Yeah. But they're going to produce both their own beer for Hops on the Hill and also a collab beer with those 3 breweries, one of which I forgot.
Sick.
We'll put it in the show notes.
Well,
We're not.
we're not. But that's a whole day event. That's also on the same day as Dog Days. So go take your dog
It's a
out,
Big day for beer.
get them all worn out,
Big
have
day.
them play in the puddles and the little like kiddie pools, and then
Yeah.
take them home,
Yeah.
let them rest, go out and have your little hops. Have a
And
good time.
and if that's not enough, Butchertown Brewing is celebrating their 2nd anniversary.
Second anniversary.
Yeah, they're
What
2
day is
they're
this?
2 years old.
When
Wow.
is this?
They are celebrating their 2nd anniversary between August 3rd and 6th. So they have 4 days of events right there.
That was a long labor from Andy Cobb. 3-day birth. 3-day birth. Is that what I'm hearing?
Yeah,
72 hours of
yep,
labor.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh.
Just right for 3 days. Yep.
Yeah.
Just trying to open it. Labor of love, they would say.
Mhm.
Yeah. And then also this week, as we're recording, just do want to give a shout out to Old Louisville Brewery.
Mhm.
They're celebrating currently their 7th anniversary.
That's hard to believe too.
Oh, Louisville
7
brewery.
years. Yeah.
Time
I mean,
freaking flies.
yeah. I can't believe it. I mean, who would have thought?
Such a good
Not me.
space, such a good community space.
Yeah.
They do just the run clubs and like just I mean, Wade's Pale Ale and their Kentucky Common and like the support of the neighborhood.
Kentucky Common.
Shout out to Old Louisville. Love those guys. Yeah.
Solid.
Happy birthday.
Foothold in the like Old Louisville neighborhood.
Yeah.
But like we're getting this out, but even like the fall is just so jam
Huge.
packed.
I know.
Jam packed. In one of our favorite festivals, Bourbon and Beyond is returning again.
Huge.
They have absolutely destroyed this lineup.
I mean, Paul, just look at the lineup. I mean,
Yeah.
just read that. Just read that lineup.
Duran. Wait, the Killers, Black Keys, Bruno Mars.
Am I not? Yeah. I know.
Train, Billy Strings. Dude, this is nuts. Hosier,
What day
Avid
would-
Brothers.
What day are you going to go to?
I would probably go to the Saturday. Black Keys, Black Crows, Avid Brothers.
Spoon. I'm a big Spoon fan.
I don't know. I don't think I know Spoon.
They're like, kind of like grunge punk, good, not punk, just good, just kind of grungy rock.
Hell
Yeah.
yeah. But also Blondie. Dude, Blondie would be nuts. Dude, this is sick.
They always say that maybe this is not what we're supposed to be saying, but you like know that you're not cool anymore when like the like actual expensive music festivals like start sounding more appealing than like the ones that are like hip and like it's like
Unknown.
Xeno Bat Tramp Band Flyer, and you're like, who's that? But then it's like, oh, Black Keys. You're like, yeah, I'm going to that one.
Yep.
That's me.
The
That's me.
Diarrhea Planet. and
Yeah,
all
yeah,
those.
yeah,
Yep.
yeah, exactly.
Diarrhea Planet is awesome.
They are awesome. Don't get me wrong.
I saw them like 2 months ago. at
They're from
Bonnaroo.
they're from Cincinnati. I went to college with their professor was a teacher at or their dad. One of their dads is a teacher at Xavier, where I went,
Go Muskies.
and he literally had to tell his class, "Hey guys, you guys should see my son's band." The name is Diarrhea.
What subject did he teach?
Oh, I
was
can't
hoping he'd say
remember.
physics.
Economics.
Oh, I can't remember.
Well, if it was physics, then the kids would be like, "Can you describe the gravitation of the diarrhea planet?"
It was accounting too.
Yeah, yeah.
But when they walk off stage and you're like waiting for the encore, everyone chants diarrhea.
oh my
Yeah,
gosh.
yeah.
But no,
That's
this
good shit.
is September 14th through 17th. And then I will say, just selfishly, last year I saw Brandy Carlisle at Bourbon Beyond.
Top
One,
notch.
one of the best live shows I've ever seen.
Sick.
It's fantastic. She's opening again on Thursday, September 14th. Buy your tickets. It's worth it.
Yeah.
Why not?
Hmm.
It's gonna be fun.
You guys also didn't mention Brew the Zoo. Oh, you guys would be
yes.
all over that.
A classic.
Yeah.
A classic
I think it's
global
August
event.
26th.
Yes.
Tell us more, Paul.
I don't know. Well, no, one of my buddies on the board, so I don't know. I just Brew the Zoo one time changed my life, and it was
Yeah, Brew the Zoo is fun.
How
It's
did it change your
incredibly
life?
fun.
I want to know.
one time. So the first time I went to Brew the Zoo when it was first getting started, myself and two other dudes all went. We walked from my house, and it was just a random day. And not many people were there. It was back when before it was known. Drake's was giving out like mini burgers. They had like all this random
Drake was
food.
there?
Drake's.
Oh, okay. Cool.
But I literally
You
remember
can find me on my small grill,
I didn't get that was good.
flipping burgers. Anyway,
I didn't get too drunk. I got the perfect amount of drunk. We saw all the animals we want to see. You got close to the animals. You get to pet the llamas and all the weird shit you have to do. And it was to this day, there will never be a day that will top that day of Brew the Zoo.
Brew at the Zoo back in the day was
Nuts.
legit.
It's
It was
gotten
great.
a little bit more corporate.
Yeah.
No fault to their
Well,
own.
it's just big now.
It's
There's just a
big.
lot of people.
It's big, a lot of people, but like back in the day, it was like smaller. There was a dance floor.
Yep.
The what's the band that everyone loves in Louisville? The Crashers, Louisville Crashers.
Yeah.
Louisville Crashers.
Tony
would
and the
play.
Tan Lines.
Tony and the Tan Lines. But yeah, dude, it used to be something, and it still is something. Don't get
It's
me
a
wrong.
fundraiser at the
It
end.
is
of
a
the day.
fundraiser
I
at the end of
will.
the day.
I will caveat.
Yeah.
It is a fundraiser. But yeah, dude, Brew the Zoo.
The other thing that we really like to talk about here is Louisville Beer Week. Are you familiar with Louisville Beer Week?
When is it this year?
It's October 20th through the 27th.
Oh,
And one of the things that we always love to do every year for Louisville Beer Week, as we're coming on the 6th anniversary of this, is we like to pair breweries together just randomly. Just be like, hey, y'all, you've never done a collab before, probably.
Oh,
So
yeah.
we just
Now
take all the
Kiss.
breweries and now Kiss.
Yeah.
And David, we are slowly rolling out all the breweries over the course of the next few weeks that are doing a collab for Louisville Beer Week.
ooh,
Yeah, so this week we are super excited to announce the next in the series is going to be very good.
That was pretty good, actually. That sounded nice.
Very good. Against the Grain and Goodwood.
Ooh.
There's some behind the scenes action on this one. They're very closely intertwined brands. They've been in Louisville for 10 plus years, both. So I am interested in if they kind of bring out something old that was like reminiscent of Louisville's like early craft beer.
Yeah, bring back BBC Porter, guys.
Yeah.
Come on.
Or if they kind of go, break that path and go something like
Wait,
really
David,
new.
Can you explain what that means? Like, I know how typically beer collabs work, but like, what does it mean that they're going to collab for this? What does that mean?
Excellent
year-
question, Paul.
Yeah.
Hey, I ask questions too, guys. I ask questions too. Hey,
Great.
we should have this guy back, right?
So for 6 years of us doing Louisville Beer Week as a group together, we've always tried to push the boundaries in what is our community. And you mentioned like community being a huge part of like your brand and building it. So for us, we always thought like, dude, these guys are all friends, and if they're not, we're going to make them friends. So the answer to that is to put them in a randomizer and hit that button. And then it's like, this is the person you're going to collab with. And they're like, what? No, I don't know. I don't know these people.
You're making it sound like a school project, and it's
It kind
getting
of
me-
is.
Yeah,
It kind of
It
is.
can be, or I mean,
Oh, sorry. No.
I'm with what all of you guys are saying. Like it can be, but
Yeah.
that's why they did those things.
But what does a collab mean?
So
Like, does it
collab-
mean that
All right,
he
so look, we
makes
started
3 of the
doing this 6
ingredients,
years
he
ago.
makes
Paul,
4 of the
and-
ingredients?
No.
Like-
It's normally a collaborative recipe, idea, shared concept for what they're trying to achieve in the beer.
Got it.
And then, ultimately it has to be decided on like who brews it where. So there's a lot of like cross training is the wrong word, but kind of like overlap and like, oh, this is how you operate your brew house and this is how I do my thing.
Cool.
And this
And the
is
real
what we
answer
were
is
trying
it's
to
never the
achieve.
same, because some people might just be like, hey, let's split the ingredients, let's just split the beer. It's like just a true 50-50. But sometimes you might get like a 1 barrel or 2 barrel brew house paired with like a 30-40 barrel brew house, and
Big
so then
difference.
it's just like, so then it's like, do we do it on the small system or do we do it on the big system? So they kind of get to be creative inside of that too, to be like, what do we want to do? So there's never a uniform answer, but that's kind of why it's fun, just because everybody ends
Sick.
up doing it. And we have out of state breweries that have a Louisville like presence that are going to be participating in the collab
Highwire.
too. So that'll be fun with like Highwire,
Cool.
Country Boy, West 6, Pivot.
Country Boy.
out of town, but yeah,
What's Pivot?
Pivot's in Lexington.
in Lexington,
Pivot's in
brewery and
Lexington?
cidery. Yeah,
Damn. Okay.
Yeah.
Shit.
excellent stuff.
I need to
So
brush up my brushes.
yeah,
Well, we do have a guide for you. We have a passport
I have
guide that you can
I
have.
have
Yeah.
mine ready to go.
Yeah.
it's dressed in neoprene.
Yeah, exactly.
Neoprene.
No, but it's really, there are multiple ways you can look at that. I mean, there's also the home and home approach where you brew on one system and then you say, okay, we'll split the costs on that or not. But then you also go to the other breweries, system and do another beer on that later on down the road. So there's so many different ways you can look at this situation, and whatever they end up doing, that's on them. We're always really happy that they just get to come together
Sick.
and come they just come, It's so nice.
Yeah, all over Louisville.
Yeah, all over Louisville.
Yeah, yeah.
But no, Goodwood and Against the Grain,
That's
there's
gonna be tight.
there's a good little, parent company there with Bluegrass Brewing Company, and they kind of just both
Because
offshooted.
Sam and Jerry, at least,
came
were
from
BBC.
and then Goodwood also was
Mhm.
in its own way came from BBC.
Yep.
So
Huh.
yeah,
They're
it's
both
gonna,
on Main Street.
they're both on Main
Mhm.
Street.
They're like right next door. I mean, not right
They
next door.
really
but
are.
pretty
Close
damn,
enough,
right?
right?
Damn right next
Yeah.
door to each other.
A
Neighbors.
mile. I mean,
Yeah.
a mile or so.
Every
So
bit of it.
it'll be fun.
Yeah.
Fun
Yeah.
fact.
Yeah, I
This
think
is
so.
tight. I want to party in Louisville.
Well, October 20th to 27th.
We'll
And
get you
October
a VIP,
36th.
VIP passes to
Oh,
Louisville Beer Fest kickoff
yes.
event if you're in town.
You would be the only one there because we actually don't have VIP passes, but
I have some.
I'm used to being the only VIP. Nah, get me.
Well, I mean, you're
there's
the
some I
CPO,
can't make the joke.
so,
Can't make the joke.
yeah.
Can't even do it.
oh,
Can't even do it.
I see where you're going.
Can't even
with
do
that.
it.
I
Yeah,
gotcha.
it's just.
Well, to that point, we usually take this time as we close out to say thank you so much for coming
Thank
on.
you. Thank
Is
you.
there anything that you'd like people to know about?
Man. No, actually, so one thing, side note, I wanted to tell you guys is some one wacky thing, and I think you'll appreciate this the most too, but also you might, I don't know you guys as well.
Sure.
But I've also, so alcohol, some could argue it's the most healthy thing in the world. I believe that anything that makes you smile is good for you.
Mhm.
And I fully believe that alcohol makes you smile. But alcohol, for my job the last 3 years, I have just been battering my body down.
Mhm.
Drink a lot of Red Bull, a lot of shots, a lot of Underberg, a lot of Fernet, a lot of green chartreuse, a lot of just every alcohol that you can ever imagine. And it's been somewhat unhealthy. So over the last 6 months, I've gone like so far the other direction, like super health. I've like joined a lot of local like CSAs. So those of you listening, community support agriculture.
Uh-huh.
I started making my own bone broth at home. I started like eating like organs meat, like liver, heart, spleen, like things like that. Experimenting like, but I'd like in a perfect world, a perfect week for me. I literally everything I eat, I will have bought locally. This only works in the summer. Winter is a little bit harder.
Sure.
But I will say like the greatest thing about alcohol for me in this whole job those last 3 years is while it's been unhealthy and like obviously the most fun I've ever had, it's challenged me because I think during my weekdays are so unhealthy and the weekend I then had to be healthy versus the opposite. Most people are healthy during the weekdays and then unhealthy. And like, that's the great thing about like, whatever you get into, like moderation's key,
Yeah.
but everything changes when you do a startup, do your own thing. And it's just challenged me to find out new things about myself, but also join your local CSA, buy your food locally. And it's the way to do life. But then drink Saltwater Woody and have a good time.
Well, I was going to do something different, but after that, I'm going to change mine. So I'm going to go back to Greek mythology and Roman mythology, as I sometimes do. But with the point that you were just making, I would basically just invite people to read the legends surrounding the Greek god Dionysius, like the Greek god of wine and like jubilation and having, the spirit of alcohol be something that unites people and makes you smile and makes, hey, have a fun time.
100%.
With the corollary god that I think the Romans had, although it was a Greek thing too. I just don't remember the name for Bacchus. And if you ever see like the little drunk goblin who's like, blah, like that's
fat.
Bacchus. And he's like not doing good with booze. Like he's not incorporating into his life. It's no longer making you smile. It's become something that's like taking over. It's become a demon. He is a little demon almost. Like, so choose Dionysus over Bacchus. And sometimes it's hard when like alcohol's your job to make that distinction, but it's important to put like the right thing on the top of the pyramid, whether it's
Be a
food
party
or
officer, not a party pooper.
Yeah, there you are.
Chief.
It's because you said the
Paul
C-suite
Heintzman,
thing. It's
ladies
because
and
you said the
gentlemen.
C-suite thing, guys. It's because he said the C-suite. I have to do something now. Like,
like it.
geez Louise.
No. Sea sweet. What about sea salt?
Hey! Wow! Fuck!
David, what do you got?
Yeah, just choose Dionysus. Yeah.
All right.
That's it.
Shit.
I didn't really expect this like hippie culture to like protrude from the last two
Hey,
answers.
that's all we do. That's how we vibe.
So I was gonna go with plants, house plants. Like they clean the air.
Hell
you can put
yes.
them in your house. You can foster them. You can watch them grow. You can put them in bigger pots. You can put them in anywhere there's light.
Hell yeah.
They're aromatic. They make great just feature
I
pieces.
feel like you're growing weed in your basement. Is that what you're trying to tell us?
No. These are just
He bought his first houseplant the other day.
plants. Just plants. It's good for you.
They were
I
put
agree.
there by a man in a factory downtown. My shout out is going to be squirrels. I
All right.
discovered a superpower this week, and I am now a squirrel whisperer.
Okay.
Yes. Paul's got it. If you're watching on YouTube, you already know. I literally today was for the first time in my life over the course of last week when I've been trying.
No.
I caught the attention of a squirrel in my front yard by doing the hand wave thing.
This is all real.
Through my window at my office. So I was at my desk. I was looking out of my front yard and I saw a little baby squirrel.
Okay.
And it was like just rummaging through my front yard. And I kind of tapped on the window to get its attention. And I was like doing the hand wave that I've seen on TikTok. And all of a sudden that squirrel just like kind of peeked its head up. It's like, what's going on over there?
Hey, buddy.
And then the squirrel came towards me onto my window. It was first at the base of the porch, kind of just like looking up, doing all like little jerky movements. And then it jumped onto my porch swing, kind of came onto the perch of the porch swing. and then it came onto the arm of the porch swing, which is closest to my window, and it just stared at me all while I was doing the little
Hell
arm
yeah.
wavy thing. And then I went out there and I brought it some dog treats because that's all I had. I
No,
don't
you
have
didn't.
nuts.
Mhm.
And I think I'm going to do this every morning for the rest of my life because this is just what, what 31 does to me. I'm just going
So let me get this straight.
Yes.
There was a squirrel in your yard,
yes.
and then you stood in front of your window for 20 minutes doing this.
No, I sat in front of my window at
no,
my
you
desk.
do that. You do that move,
my
and they
desk.
come to you.
And they come to you. Like it's something about like how it mimics the tail or something
Yeah.
where you catch their attention and they're just like, what's going on over here?
I just think. Do you guys watch Rick and Morty? By the way,
Yes.
remember when he Morty gets like learns how to talk to animals, and he hears the squirrels.
Yes.
It's like, little boy, can you hear us? the coup in Costa Rica is going quite well. Oh, they have to take over. Like, we gotta move. So good.
Oh, jeez.
All right,
Oh, geez.
Squirrel Whisperer. I'll try it. I'll
Yeah,
try it.
yeah. So
Yeah.
I literally, as soon as you said, it, I was like, he's got to be talking about this. He's got to be.
yes, shout out to squirrels and because
Squirrels
I said
everywhere.
shout out to
Fuck
squirrels.
squirrels. They eat all of our tomatoes, but maybe I'll try the
true.
move.
Because John says fuck squirrels.
Hey,
we
squirrels
gotta,
run the
we gotta
world.
hang out and
Squirrels run the world.
drink some cocktails tonight. Thank you so much, Paul, for
Hey,
coming on.
thanks, guys. This is tight.